Welcome to the Exchange on Air. My name is Cameron and I'm your host today. This is my very first episode, so I'm actually a little nervous, but actually very excited. With me here today, I have my man, Jason Beale. Jason, how's everything?
Good, man. Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
So I'm based out of North Carolina. I'm a realtor. Been in the real estate industry for about 2 years now.
Okay.
And yeah, I just my goal is to help educate people about real estate.
Yeah, 2 years is definitely, it's a short time, but to me it's a long time, only because I think about certain things that you had talked, and we'll dig into that also, certain things that you had talked to me about regarding real estate and what you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
When everyone gets a chance, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is going to be a very interesting conversation that we're going to have. Definitely, I'm looking forward to asking you certain questions and getting to know you a little bit more on the real estate side.
Yes, sir.
Are you only licensed in the state of North Carolina?
Currently, yes.
And how was that process for you?
It was tough. The licensing, I would say the school side and the actual examination, that was kind of tough just because it's a lot of sections within the book. All the questions come from the book. It's about 14 or 15 sections.
Okay.
You had law questions. You had there was even a construction side to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was if you don't apply yourself in the class, if you don't apply yourself and make sure you study, then you won't pass. So that was a wake up call for me because I was never really a studier. I kind of always just got information, but for that particular course, I definitely had to lock in.
But why real estate? Out of everything else, why real estate?
Just I would say from just growing up, I always kind of wanted to do something with construction. Little funny story. When I was 9 or 10 years old, I used to say, Mom, I want to be a general contractor. Now, mind you, like, I'm 9 years old. Like, wow, how would you know what that is? But yeah, so always something like construction, real estate, and it all plays together. So when I got into college, I realized the degree that I was going after, I really didn't want to pursue that anymore. So I was trying to figure out ways, what's something I can do that will free my time up? Not that I don't work now or anything like that, but I have flexibility and time and also making good money.
Right.
So I thought on it, and I just came to the realization that real estate, that's the path that I want to take, or at least the path that I want to try out, see how it goes. I'm in my 20s, so I feel like that's the time where you kind of, try things, trial and error. That way, when you get in your 30s and 40s, you still not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just kind of wanted to take that leap of faith, essentially. So, yeah.
Sounds pretty good, though. And from previous conversations that we had, it seems like you're doing actually very, very good for yourself. Seriously.
Trying to, man.
Hey, congratulations.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
I do want to kind of go back because you did say that you did go to college. Where did you go to college?
So I went to UNC Charlotte. I transferred, actually. Well, I did and I didn't, I guess. But I graduated high school with my associate's degree. I did like the dual enrollment thing. So from there, I transferred to UNC Charlotte for about 1.5 years for biology. That's what I was going.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a big
so I was going
change.
to become a doctor, or I was going to try to do that. But I just came to the realization, like, this is a lot of school. This is a lot of books. There's a lot of reading, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that wasn't my passion. So it hit me, I want to say, I think it was January 2022-ish. I was just like, nah, this isn't for me. So I took a step back from that and started to pursue the real estate.
And could you say now real estate is definitely something that you're passionate about and that you see yourself doing 10 years from now?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Maybe not real estate agency as much. I mean, I plan to always be a realtor. I feel like it's a good license to have, but I want to transition into real estate investing eventually.
Okay.
I'm just trying to build some capital right now.
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And sometimes you got to start small and then work your way up.
Yes, sir.
And so starting off with the real estate, what were some of the things that you did from the beginning when you first got on board?
Once I got licensed?
Correct.
So prior to licensing and then after that, I did a lot of research on YouTube.
Okay.
Watching day in the lives, advice from other like successful realists.
YouTube University.
Yeah, man, facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Like that's really I'll get into that later. But yeah, I did a lot of that. What else? Just talking to other real estate agents. Really, I feel like who you surround yourself with is who you eventually become or who you are.
That is true.
So I want to be around the best. So I had to put myself around the best people in my field in order to do that.
So eventually some of those same people ended up becoming, I would say, your mentors.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And actually, so the brokerage I started off with, I'm not going to mention their name because I feel like they're a great brokerage, most definitely, but it wasn't a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those larger like franchise brokerages. So coming in, there's a lot of education that they provide. It's a lot of courses that they provide, but it just wasn't that one-on-one like interaction that I was looking for. I'm a hands-on type of guy. Like if I see you do something
Right.
a few times or even once, I kind of pick up on it.
Right.
So, I kind of lost my train of thought. What was you were saying? Some of the people who became my mentor.
Yeah. So basically, some of the same ones who you did shadow or observe.
Yeah.
Over time, they ended up becoming your mentors, essentially.
Yeah. So once I realized that brokerage really wasn't for me, a mentor of mine out of Goldsboro, North Carolina, he reached out to me. Matter of fact, he reached out to me, I think the second day.
Okay.
After me joining the original brokerage that I was with, and I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I kind of already joined a brokerage already. So he was like, oh, it's no problem, man. Like if you ever need anything, if you ever need advice or if you ever change your mind, like reach out to me. And that was just like real profound to me because it was like the fact that I kind of declined his offer of joining him, but yet he was still like open to like helping me and stuff like that. Like that stuck with me. So a few months with the brokerage I was with, not like really selling anything. I didn't really feel like I was going anywhere. I was like, I had a conversation with my father and he was like, man, you should consider the guy's name is James.
Okay.
But he's like, you should consider James. So I reached out to him and joined him, and he's been my mentor. Like he's been my main mentor ever since. And within like a month, I was already selling houses.
Wow.
So like he's been a big role in my development as an agent.
Yeah, I think it's very essential to have someone who you can lean on and rely on regarding just as someone you can lean on, just someone you can fall back on to teach you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And also someone you can trust. So the fact that he was still even willing and able to go ahead and still mentor you, even though it's outside of, I guess, whatever company he had worked for at the time, I think that was actually pretty good though.
Yeah, man. Actually. And I guess the cool thing about him is like we're both African American. He's a younger guy, but he's doing really well in his field. He came from the same brokerage I came from.
Oh,
the franchise that is, like he was in a different location, so like he relates with me a lot.
Right.
So that kind of stuck out to me. He's able to reach me in a way that they couldn't really reach me.
Right.
So it's been nice, man, for real. Like he's been an encouragement to me, and he's just taught me a lot, man. Like not even always verbally, just by watching, truthfully. So it's been nice, man.
So kind of going back, you said you were selling homes within your first month, or selling like
with him, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So can you recall your very first transaction?
Yeah. So actually, my first transaction was a referral from him.
Okay.
So he had a seller who was looking to sell their investment property. They actually bought it from him. They reached back out to him to sell the property. The investor ran out of money.
Oh.
So he was flipping it, but he ran out of money, so he had to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gave it to me, man. Like he showed me the process, obviously, like walked me through it, but like he essentially gave it to me, and I made a little bread off of it. So I was very thankful for that. I learned a lot, and that kind of got the momentum going for me. Like, yo, I can really do this.
How was that process? Like just starting off, learning how to sell the house, and well, you said it was a referral.
Yeah.
So that referral process, how is that referral process?
You talking about like him actually referring me to the?
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth. It was pretty. The seller already trusted James.
Okay.
So like, if he's vouching for me, he was like, oh, okay. And like I said, he was kind of desperate to go out and sell, so he really didn't care as long as he got his property. So that was the biggest thing.
Now, how was that experience for you?
It was nice because, once again, like I said, it showed me the listing side of things. There's a buyer agent and then there's a listing agent. They do two different things. They both represent the client, but it's two different sides of the deal. But it showed me that side. I would say that side's a little bit easier because once you put it on the market, yes, you market it, yes, you do your open houses, but after that, you kind of just wait until a buyer comes along and y'all do the paperwork, and it goes from there. That was a cash deal, so that was really easy. There was no lender involved. There was no inspections or appraisals. The person bought it, and it was pretty quick. It took like 3 weeks to close.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's not bad
on it. So
yeah, this is actually interesting. Hey, listen, like, share, subscribe. This is Jason Beale here. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yes, I came all the way here to see my guy. So
yes, sir.
It was definitely worth it. Yes. Definitely worth it.
Yes, sir.
I kind of want to tackle into, if you weren't in real estate, not sure if I did ask you this already.
No.
But if you weren't in real estate, what could you see yourself doing?
Probably, like I said earlier, like just something kind of related to construction. I've always just been fascinated with like the engineering and that process of things, like some type of engineering or construction, maybe even architecture. I like interior design and stuff. Like I just like all of that type of stuff. So something related to that, more than likely construction though.
Okay. So with that, I'm assuming that would probably have you go was trade school.
Well, I did for the general contractor thing I was talking about earlier. Yes, you would have to, not trade school, but you have to get your you have to take courses and actually pass a test. But the other fields, well, architecture, a lot of them have degrees.
Right.
It just depends. It just depends. Some people, like, depending on what you're doing, some people just are an apprentice and they are up under somebody who's a master in their field and they follow them. And then some people, like some of those jobs I named off, you do need a degree for.
Right.
But I think the difference would be is something I'm actually interested in. So I probably would have pursued it,
Now, you've been in the industry for 2 years. What can you say was your, out of so far the 2 years that you've been in it, what could you say is your hardest sell?
I would say the deal I'm working on currently, just because it's taking so long to close. Typically it takes 30 to 45 days to close once you guys go under contract. This is taking like 90 something days. Only because there was a lot of underlying factors that played a part in my buyers the approval process for their loan. So they got pre-approved quickly. Everything looked good on paper. We got them in their house in we found the house for them in like 3 weeks, maybe a month. So everything looked good. But once they started going through the underwriting process, which is a whole nother beast within itself.
Yeah, that's true.
It kind of fell. After that, there was some things with credit and taxes. It kind of so we're getting those things fixed right now for the underwriters to go ahead and approve the loan. So it's just it's just a waiting game.
Oh, well, preferably everything comes through. And,
yes, sir.
You sell the house and you can always, because you're going to run into hiccups regardless.
Oh yeah. Every transaction is different. Like it may not be a financial thing. It may be a personality thing. Just like you as a buyer don't click, or you and the seller can't see eye to eye on certain things. That's why it's good. I would encourage any realtor, if you're not doing this already, have that listing appointment, have that buyer consultation, so you can kind of feel out who you're dealing with before you sign the contract. And now you're kind of locked in to dealing with the person. You as a realtor have the choice. You can say, hey, no, I don't think it'll be a good fit. You can do that. You don't have to take, the business that comes to you. If it violates one of your whatever, if you're not feeling it, then that's on you. But But yeah, it's different factors that play. Every transaction is different. Some are great, some are smooth,
Right.
but you just never know until you get into it. So
Now, just to confirm, you only do residential.
as of right now, yeah.
Have you ever considered going to the commercial side of real estate?
Most definitely. I actually know a few people who do commercial and they're doing very well. I know that's more so a long-term gain, but it pays off very well. A lot of commercial is relationship based. So because I'm a newbie in this, like I'm still working on those connections and relationships. I do know some people who may be interested in looking into commercial, but I'm just kind of learning the ropes of real estate itself, learning how to sell, learning how to market, all of those things. And then that way, when I transition, I feel like I'm prepared,
Right.
So
Yeah. And for that, there's no specific licensing you have to go through for the commercial side, correct?
no, it's basically the same.
Okay.
But it's the same, but at the same time, like it's different in the sense of like how things are conducted.
Mm-hmm.
I would say residential is a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? As far as codes and city things and stuff like that, it's a little bit more tedious with that for residential because, it's actually people like you're going to sleep in this building.
Right.
As opposed to commercial, you may be able to get away with certain things.
Right.
But then on the flip side of things, you may not. It just depends on who you're dealing with.
Right.
But both have their pros and cons, but I want to do both eventually.
I kind of want to rewind a little bit because you mentioned, because you kind of went into detail about your first transaction and selling the first home. Kind of go into detail regarding the home buying process. I know for some, it is a very overwhelming process, only because one, spending the time looking for, I guess what I could say the dream house of your choice, money, and in some cases just financial backing. You have some people that deal with, low credit score, debt to income ratio is high, and so I kind of go into detail regarding that process of buying your first home.
I got you.
Just for those to understand.
Yeah, so it's simple to me, but I'm a real estate kid, obviously.
Correct.
But when you really look at it, it's not too hard. Once you get pre-approved, and I guess would you want me to explain the pre-approved?
Yeah, go
so
through the pre-approval process.
When you get pre-approved, essentially like you reach out to a lender, they do I don't want to say a hard check of your finances, but they do a deep search. Like you said, debt to income. They definitely check your credit, and they just check other things, financial factors to see how much you qualify for. So after that, let's say you get pre-approved for $350,000. From there, after you get your pre-approval, it's time to start actually looking for the house that you wanna buy.
Right.
It can't be anything over 350. Obviously, I mean it can be technically, but you would have to cough up whatever the difference is. So if you get a house for 360, well, you would have to come up with $10,000.
Why so?
Because the lender's only willing to give you 350.
Oh, that's their cap. 350.
That's where. So that's all they're gonna. And then even in that, if it's not 100%, like if you have to put a down payment down, then there's more money you would have to.
Okay.
There's more money you have to put out. So I'll just once you you want to keep that the pre-approval lets you know your budget essentially.
And then off that budget, then you start looking for houses within that budget.
Exactly.
Okay.
So after that, once you kind of figure out what resonates with you for a house, you put in an offer. Your offer is either accepted, declined, or countered. If it's declined, obviously that means your offer wasn't accepted. Right. Countered. What a counter offer is let's say you send in an offer for 340. Seller may send you back, all right, we can do it for 345. Now you can either accept that or counter. You can send another counter offer, 342.5, and you guys just keep countering back and forth until you either reach an agreement which would be acceptance, or you just like, hey, look, I don't think it's gonna work. So after, let's say the offer is accepted, after that, you just that's when the underwriting process takes place. All of the files are submitted. You guys start doing your home inspections for the house. To make home inspections allow you to see like what repairs may be needed. That's another negotiating point that you can do with So let's say you lock in at 340, but you find out the house needs a new roof for whatever reason. That's a negotiating point. You might be able to get $10,000 off the original price that you guys agreed on because you need to get a new roof. Or the seller may offer to just go ahead and fix the roof or offer you a concession for the roof. It just depends on, it's so many ways to like handle that. But I always tell my buyers to get a home inspection. It's not required, but definitely get one. It's like buying a car without looking under the hood. You just kind of blind, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So then after that, your appraisal. Now, appraisals are required if you're getting a loan, because an appraiser is going to make sure that the house is worth what you're buying it for. So if that appraisal falls under, if the number, let's say, like I said, you get the house locked in at 340, the appraisal comes in at 335. Well, you guys are going to have to renegotiate until you can get it under 335. Otherwise, they're not going to release the funds to you to buy the house. Underwriting, that's the process where the lender just kind of, they're doing a like very intricate check on all your finances to make sure that you're essentially qualified and not a liability in regards to getting a loan. And then after that, you go into escrow or closing. Essentially, that's where you sign your documents, sign the deed over, all of that, and house is yours. So it's not hard, or it's not like some long drawn out process. It can be, depending on what comes up in the road, but for the most part, it's pretty straight on.
Now, how long? That is a lot of information.
It is. It is. And I have videos on my social media kind of explaining, you know, that process more in depth. I have like different videos actually, like, so I want to check that out.
Speaking of that, in the description below the video, I will drop his Instagram. Do you have an email address also? Working?
Yeah, but it's all of that's in my, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to drop all his information in the description below also. So that way, whoever has any questions regarding if it's buying your first home or anything regarding real estate, Jason could be a good point of contact for you also. Now, how long does that process, what's the time frame?
From from pre-approval up until?
Yeah, from start to finish. It's the standard time frame.
So I'll do it based off of when the offer is accepted, because you never know how long it may take somebody to find the house they want.
I guess it varies depending on.
Yeah, exactly. So from the acceptance of the offer up until closing, it should take 30 to 45 days, typically. So about a month and a half. It's not too long. Sometimes it's quicker than that. Obviously, sometimes it's longer than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, about 30 to 45 days.
Now, it's something hearing you talk about everything. But most people don't know. I grew up with Jason my whole life. Even though I'm 28 and he's 22, there is a 5-year, if I did my math right, 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
6 year gap. But just to see someone who's as young as he is, and he said he was going to do it. You know, I could recall conversations of telling me what he originally wanted to do. He wanted to go into general contracting, but to see that transition into real estate and to see you actually full-fledged going forward and not being afraid of the change. And I think for most people, a lot of people are afraid of just changing. And I guess the change was worth it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And even myself, like, fear does come. That like you just kind of gotta block it out. I mean, I have good people like supporting, and that's why I was saying earlier, like, what's your circle, like who you're surrounding yourself with, like, it's gonna come.
Yeah.
Especially like entrepreneurs. I mean, even with yourself, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, this is your first episode on the podcast. You told us about it. You're doing it. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure there were moments like, man, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I had my moments. I did. And I had one little, I'd say, voice in my ear. Just kept encouraging me to go, just to do it seriously. And I'm thankful that I did it.
Yeah, man.
Like I think you actually said earlier, like that leap of faith.
Yeah, for sure. Like just taking it, man. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? That's kind of like my mindset. What it's been with it, I mean, obviously I have a fallback plan,
Right.
but still, like, if you can do it, we're young, like, take advantage of that youth and kind of like figure out what you like.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. And then if you decide to change 10 years from now, you have that experience, and then you could still go back
Exactly
into that. You have the license, even though now speaking of the license, does that expire?
Yes. So it can you have to renew it, but it's not like your first year. So when you get, like, at least in North Carolina, I'm not sure if it's the same. I think it is, but I'll speak for North Carolina. When you get licensed your first year, you start off as a provisional broker, or PB, or that's what it says on your license, PB, which is provisional broker. But so when you renew it, that after the first year, you don't have to take any like CE, which is continuing education courses. But after that, each year you have to take CE classes, and then you have to pay like a renewal fee. I think ours is like, it's either $90 or $45 or something like that. But it's nothing crazy. But it's not hard to renew it. I guess that's what I'm saying. That's just kind of like a license every couple of years.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Have you considered being licensed anywhere else outside of North Carolina?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I actually plan to. I'm working on Tennessee right now, only because there's a potential deal out there that I want to really get. So if I can do that, that would be great.
Do you want to go into that deal? Like, do you want to talk about that deal a little bit, or?
Yeah, I can a little. Essentially, so there's a house of a family member that I know. They've had it for like 40 something years, man. But that area, and that particular, like, it's in Nashville, Tennessee, but that particular area, they're buying up all the houses and like turning them into, not gentrifying them per se, because it was never like a low income area, but at the same time, just really remodeling them and turning the house. Like, there's some beautiful houses down that particular street. The person, they've gotten like $1 million offers.
Wow.
So if I get that, that would be great. I would love to list that. So that's kind of like my driving factor into getting my license there. And then from there, just the surrounding areas around my state as of right now, and then maybe even possibly Pennsylvania, man.
Yeah, man. Come on to Philly.
Yes, sir.
Come on to Philly, sell some houses. Because they're buying them up. Especially down in South Philadelphia. They're definitely buying them out. Running them out. They're doing a lot up there.
Yeah.
Now, who can you say out of the mentors that you had? Who can you say? I know you mentioned James. Was there anybody else who was a driving force in your career path that you can say benefited you in any way to where you're at the place you are today?
Yeah, there's a few people actually. I mean, kudos to your pops, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, just seeing him, talk about it back in the day and whatnot, like, just kind of, well, first and foremost, for those who don't know, well, do you mind if I share that? Or
that's no, you could.
Yeah, his dad is my pastor. So, like, just kind of like listening to the stories that he talked about, like, it was cool to see, like, and he's definitely somebody I look up to. So, just kind of like seeing that, even my father, like, he's talked about wanting to like do real estate endeavors. I want to help him with that. So just different people I've seen. Like, in college was when I came to the realization that I wanted to do real estate for sure. A friend of mine, me and him were actually supposed to go into real estate, like start a investing business together.
Okay.
That didn't really work out, but he did get linked up with a few people in Charlotte that put him on to commercial real estate. So seeing him, I see him on social media and stuff like that. He's doing pretty well.
That's really good
for himself. So like, yeah, it's definitely been people in my life. And then just from what I see on, social media and whatnot, like people talking about what they do. It's like, man, if they can do it, then I can too.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I think it's beautiful too to have something that you want to do. And again, like I stated earlier, just following through. There's no procrastinations behind it. And I think for me, it's the willingness that you have to follow through with it instead of, sometimes you get fearful, you get doubtful, you get nervous. But once you start putting that grind hat on, from there, you're on go.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
For sure.
And the grind doesn't stop at all. What is your goal regarding, like, how many houses would you say, so over the summer?
This summer coming up?
So from this summer coming up. So what is your goal regarding selling houses? Like what kind of goal do you have? Do you set goals for yourself?
Yeah. So for this year, my goal was to do 2 a month, like close 2 a month. Kind of ran into some circumstances earlier. Well, last year that kind of affected me this year. I wasn't able to really like pursue that how I wanted to, but definitely getting the two closed deals every month.
Okay.
To build that consistency, and then that way, and then just build from there. Just kind of that's not a small goal at all. That's 24 houses.
That's not
at the year.
Oh yeah.
But and so once I get good at that, just building up maybe 48, which would be 4 houses a month.
Right.
And then from there, building a team. And yeah, man, just like every year, kind of like tracking what I've done, and then figuring out ways to optimize it so that way I'm growing even more and more.
So what is the timeline you're giving yourself to transition into commercial?
That's a profound question. Like I really don't know, man, for real. And maybe even us having this conversation, like I'll look into it more afterwards. I've just kind of been so focused on like, all right, let me get these 2 houses per month. I kind of like, not that I blocked it out because it's a goal of mine, but I guess, as soon as possible. When I was, I'm working with a few clients right now. Maybe once I get those out the way, and we'll just have to see, man.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Seriously. I would love to see that.
But commercial is longer. It may take you like 9 months to close a commercial deal.
Sheesh, almost a year? Wow.
Yeah, bro. But when you get it, if it's like a $3 million property at a 3%, I'm not sure what the math is on that, but I do know, I believe it's, I don't know, but it's up there. It's either 5 or 6 figures, like the commission check off of that alone. So, it's worth it. It's just, it takes longer. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that long. Well, I can understand why on the business side is longer than compared to the residential side.
Yeah.
What could you say for yourself? How do you stay motivated?
That's a great question.
Yeah, how do you stay motivated when deals aren't closing?
Man, that's good. Prayer for sure. Like just kind of, I feel like just the way everything happened, me getting my license, the way things kind of fell into place, even with James and stuff, like meeting him and things like that. I feel like God has definitely been guiding me through this whole thing. I don't believe that I don't want to say the cliche churchy phrase, but brought me this far, just lead.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that factor of it, and then also, man, like I know it can be done. Like there's people that I know who are doing this, so it's just like, and then also I'm young. Like I consider, like sometimes I forget that. I'm like, man, you're 22 years old. Like you have to give yourself time to actually grow.
Right.
That's kind of like been my Achilles heel. Like ambitious, but I've been learning patience. This season of my life, I guess, like a lot of patience, bro. So that's been helping me a lot with just kind of not taking my foot off the gas, but definitely like just letting it happen.
Right.
I know I'm doing what I need to be doing. So like it's
Trust in the process.
for sure.
Right.
For sure. So like I would say those two factors mainly. Just kind of that's kind of what keeps me motivated.
So for those who are out there who are trying to get into the career path, because you did mention that you basically did a career change from biology or wanting to be a doctor to real estate broker. What piece of advice would you give someone who's currently trying to make a major life or career change?
I would honestly just say like just find your purpose. Make sure it's not something like superficial, like, oh, I just want to make more bread. I just want to make more money. Like, let it be something that's solid. You know what I mean? Whether it be the time freedom thing, because that's big. I think a lot of people, they kind of lose their purpose. Well, no, I don't want to say that, because I feel like that's knocking at those who are working 9 to 5s.
Right.
By all means, we need that. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Otherwise, we wouldn't. There's a lot of things we wouldn't have. But don't lose your purpose in that. So find your purpose whatever that may be, and then do your research. Like, don't go into it blindly. Like, figure out, okay, hey, I want to do this. So what are the steps I need to take to do this?
Right.
Watch the people who are the best at it. Try to find people in your area or wherever, like get advice, essentially is what I'm saying.
Right.
And just do it. Like Nike, for real. Like, just do it. Like, I mean, it's not really like everybody's situation different, because some people, they may be the breadwinner for their family. They may have kids. That's a tough situation if the job you're working is, is providing.
Right.
But you want to do something else. So it's like, how do I find that sweet spot to where I'm not losing myself in my job that I hate, or not even that I hate, my job that I've lost the spark in.
Right.
But also still like going after my dreams, but then finding that sweet spot to where you're still able to provide at that time,
right.
That transition, while also, chasing your dreams, essentially.
I'm not gonna lie. This is inspiring. This is inspiring me.
Oh man.
Seriously. Just hearing this, seriously, it hits home, because I think about myself, because there's certain things that I was like, what, I don't know what I wanted to do. I think about, because I went to school for journalism. Many people don't know I went to school for journalism, and did about a year and a half in community college, and then after that, I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Got into banking, started off as a teller, and then I noticed that certain skills were being, the word I'm looking for, certain skills that I had were being made known that I didn't know. And from there, I've been in banking since 2016.
And it's funny you say that, bro, because like I was just having a conversation with somebody. I was like, you never know why you deal with the things, or like why you go through things that you go through, even that period of time where you don't know,
right?
And you may, like you said, like you may find skills that you didn't have,
right?
You really might. So it kind of took that to figure out, for you, like, hey, I kind of want to go after this. Same thing for me. Like, took me a little bit to figure out like what I wanted to do, and then what skills I had, and I went after it. But it may, that's just one of the things, like time,
right?
Essentially, like just give it time. Like I feel like everybody has a skill in something, even those who feel like they don't.
That's true.
It's just a matter of exploiting it and figuring out how can I make this make money for me, if that's what you want to do. Because sometimes some people's purposes isn't in money. Sometimes it's just maybe they're an artist, or maybe they're a musician, and they that's just what they want to do. Like, as long as, exactly. So
the passion is their driving force. And it's funny because I would have never thought about doing any of this at all.
yeah,
So to hear you talk about, that change that you made, and even though it was an uncomfortable time, it still puts you in a position now where you are comfortable with what you're doing and you feel confident in it. And not that you're just confident, you're good at it. So
I appreciate
I'm proud of you though.
Proud of you, Doc.
I appreciate that, man. I'm proud of you.
Yes, sir.
I gotta come back down here to do another.
Oh yeah,
to do another.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Yeah, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, I got my guy Jason Beale. This been great. Like, share, subscribe. There are gonna be more videos coming soon. This is my first one. I know this video is probably short. I know this is my first one. Just be patient with me. Tune in once again to the Exchange on Air podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Nicholas. See you again.